What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do the July love readings for my Libras out there. If you're new to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would click the like, share, and subscribe button for me. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below. So we're going to take a look at your current hurdles, obstacles, and struggles that you're facing in love right now. We're going to take a look at the advice, what you need to do to overcome those struggles. And then we're going to take a look at the outcome, what you can expect if you listen to the advice. So essentially, the advice is the most important part of the reading because it's telling you what you need to do to get the favorable outcome, right? So let's just jump in and see what comes out. Keep in mind that Libra has more to do than just your sun sign. Could be pay attention to where Libra shows up in your houses in astrology. So it's really important to be able to reference your astrology chart, which a lot of tarot readers don't explain very well, in my opinion. But it's very handy to have your astrology chart. Doesn't mean you have to know astrology, but have your chart available because everybody has all 12 signs, all 12 houses. Where does Libra, the sign of Libra, which house is Libra in for you? And then pay attention to Venus because Venus is the planet that rules Libra, essentially. And it doesn't always show up in the same place where Libra is. Doesn't show up in the same house where Libra exists. So, for example, for me, Libra shows up in my 10th house. Well, fortunately for me, Venus is also in my 10th house. So it's really easy for me to understand because they're in the same place. But for you, it may be in a different place, right? So wherever pay attention to what house the sign of Libra is in, and then pay attention to where your Venus is in as well. Okay. All right. So, first card out in your obstacle and challenge is overthinking. And so the reason I said that, just FYI, just to be clear, the reason that I mentioned that is because you don't have to be a sun sign, right? Like, we're so much more than our sun signs in astrology. So just to be aware of that. I feel like most people probably know that by now, but it's worth mentioning. Okay, so you have overthinking in the hurdle, obstacle, and challenge position here. Pretty self-explanatory. You guys are, you're in your head, you're overthinking. I mean, now Libra, you are an air sign. So something, whether you're single, you're in a relationship, whatever this is, and I'll clarify using the tarot, whatever this is, whatever you're going through right now, or maybe if it's just love in general, you're overthinking things. So you need to get out of your head. It's an 8 of Swords type of energy. You're just overthinking. 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. Overthinking things a little too much here. All right, so in the advice, we have favored. Now, this could mean that you or the conditions are favorable for you to find love, and maybe you're not realizing it because you're so lost in your thoughts here. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. Of course, I'll know more once we clarify in just a moment. Now, in the outcome position here, we have the future card. So basically it's saying, hey, coming up in the near future, looking towards your future, there is love. So it's essentially saying, prepare. If you can get out of your head, the conditions are favorable for you to find love between now and probably the end of the year. So this year, and I know like it's July, so we're more than halfway through the year now. It's kind of crazy. We're going to be entering Leo season, in a little over a week. So like the 22nd, the 23rd, we'll officially be in Leo season. We'll still be in July, but we'll be officially entering Leo season. in terms of the zodiac goes. At the bottom of the deck, we have not aligned. So right now, there's something that's relationally that you're not aligned with. I feel like if it's either a past person that you're fixated on, or if it's a current relationship that you're in, there's a situation in your romantic, because this is a love reading. In love and romance, there's a situation, a person, whatever that is for you, that you're not aligned with. And I feel like that's what's been causing this overthinking. But what you're not realizing is that, hey, sometimes people come into our lives to teach us lessons, right? And sometimes we have contracts, soul contracts to fulfill, because we're meant to have a certain type of experience with that person. And we fulfill that. We fulfill that contract, or we have that experience, or we learn that lesson, right? All the different reasons why we meet people. But because we get attached and we get emotionally invested, we think that, this was supposed to be the person we were supposed to live forever with. This was our end all be all, and all these different things. And, it's emotional attachment that gets us kind of entangled, if you will, kind of screws us over, right? All attachment ends up causing problems, which in my personal opinion, as we evolve spiritually, you learn the art of detachment, and then you start to realize it's like, hey, detachment is where the sweet spot is, because now you're in this position where you realize we're all one. You realize that there are mountaintops, there's beauty in life, and then there's the valleys. There's the pain, the suffering, the loss. And these two things one is not better than the other. It's just that it's contrasting, right? If we didn't have the pain and suffering in life, then we wouldn't value the mountaintops, right? Like the only reason that that something tastes good is because that there's something that tastes bad. The only reason that that something feels good is because there's contrast. There's something that feels bad, right? So contrast, the things that we don't like, pain, discomfort, all of that kind of stuff, loss, betrayal, whatever that thing is, those things are contrast. Those are the things that help us understand the things that we do like, right? So it's not that it's just we've been programmed to think in terms of good, bad, right, wrong. But that's not really what it's about. It's not about good, bad, right, wrong. It's more about the experience itself. And in order for us to rate or have a certain type of value for an experience, there has to be contrast. There was no contrast. In other words, let's pretend we all lived in perfection. If you lived in perfection, you wouldn't know that you were living in perfection. Perfection would be pointless, because there's nothing. If you were in a world where there was no pain, there was no loss, there was no suffering, everything was perfect, everything was ideal, everything was 100,000% fulfilling at all times, you'd basically be living in boredom. Because it'd be like I'm living at the best of 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 the best. And there's nothing contrasting that. There's nothing resisting that. There's nothing in opposition of that allows me to value the fact that I'm living in perfection. And so it's interesting because we seek perfection. We seek the utopia, nirvana. We seek the ultimate fulfillment, while we disregard the very things that allow us to understand what that experience would be like. You wouldn't know what nirvana feel like if you had not experienced discomfort, displeasure, uncertainty, suffering. So without those things, we would not know that there's something better that we desired or something better to seek, right? Just, I don't know. I feel like I need to say that. For whatever reason, in this reading, I don't know, maybe for somebody who's been struggling with that, I don't know. So let's take a look at the overthinking energy and the challenge. Let's get back to the reading. Less philosophical commentary from me. Okay. So the first card out is the Four of Cups in reverse, and then we got the Three of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles at the split of the deck. So in other words, when I say the split, it's where the last card fell out when I was shuffling and I stopped shuffling. So when the cards are in my hand and that last card flew out, that's where I stopped shuffling, was at this point in the deck. That's the split. Here's one side of the deck. That's one split. And here's the bottom of the deck. So this is technically the bottom card. A lot of readers, they don't pay attention to that. I do, because I've just, as a tarot reader, I pay attention to the minute details of what's happening. And for me, I've recognized that the card on the inside of the split and the card on the bottom, they're both relevant. Most readers pay attention to the bottom card. That's just like Tarot 101. But a lot of people don't pay attention to the card on the split. Now, it depends on your shuffling style too. Sometimes people don't shuffle. Like, I only take jumpers. And what I mean by jumpers is the cards that come out, they jump out by themselves. That's just how I do it. Some people don't. They shuffle the card and they flip cards off the top of the deck, right? And that's their style. There's no right, there's no wrong. So, getting back to where we were here. We had that 5 of Wands and we have this 8 of Pentacles here at the bottom. So what's going on? This overthinking has a lot to do with either you guys have been holding out, waiting for somebody to take action here, which is the 4 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so the 4 of Cups upright is somebody who is, kind of Eeyore, woe is me. I'm disappointed, I'm apathetic, I'm bored, I'm purpose depressed, life sucks, you're just kind of you're uninspired, you're not motivated. Well, the 4 of Cups in reverse is somebody who's finally getting off their ass, they're getting motivated, they're getting inspired, it's time to take action, it's time to do something. And then you have the 3 of Pentacles, which is the doing something, right? It's collaboration, it's coming together, it's working something out, it's communicating, it's talking about something, it's wanting to, it's a desire to start building and working on something or working through something. The 3 of Pentacles is often a card of counselor, like going to see a therapist or getting a counselor or seeing a coach or involving a third entity, a third, a neutral party to help you collaborate and build. It's getting advice. It's somebody who knows more than you know, who's helping you create a certain outcome. Now, if it's not involving an outside party, then it's you and that person having a conversation about how to build something. It's like, what did we do wrong? Like, why weren't we working together in the first place? Why were we not collaborating correctly in the first place? Why were we not on the same page? Why was this not working, right? All that kind of energy. And then you have the 8 of Pentacles, which is all about doing the actual work. It's mastering. It's like you've learned a skill, you've mastered it. Now, because because you've mastered it, and because you're willing to put the hard work and the effort in, you're capable of building something impressive, something stable, something long-term, something valuable here, right? So mastery. So you've either accomplished mastery or you're working towards mastery here. But it's essentially saying you have work ethic. You're willing to put in the work to get the result because you see and you know that the thing that you're putting this amount of time, energy, and effort in is actually worth building because you have value for it. Because you're not going to put work and effort and time and energy and money into shit that's not valuable, right? Most people don't do that. So because this is all in the challenge position, you're overthinking it. You're way overthinking it. You're sabotaging it through your thoughts because you're overthinking. That's why that 5 of Wands was at the split a second ago. I put the deck back together, so obviously we don't see that card. But the 5 of Wands was there. You can reverse. That's chaos. That's conflict. That's change, right? That's competition, and it's a mental. You're feeling torn in all these different directions because you're overthinking the situation. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to overthink whatever happened here. The cards are telling you at the bottom of this deck, you're not in alignment. I know you can't see it. This is a deck that I had created for myself. You're not going to find it online. This is my personal deck. I used a really poor font that doesn't show up very well. I didn't know when I had the cards printed, the font wasn't going to show up very well. But it's okay. It's just for me. No one else is ever going to have this deck, so at least not right now. And if I did sell it, I would obviously change the font so that it would be legible. You'd be able to read it. So whatever this is, in regarding to your love life, it's not in alignment with you. Okay? And you've been overthinking it. And the cards are saying, hey, there's nothing to overthink here. You know, sometimes people come into our life that are meant for us, and sometimes we're meant to learn a lesson. Essentially, let me just put it to you this way. Whatever happened in this situation, it is what it is. It was what it was. You were meant to take away from it the lesson or the experience, whatever it was, that whatever happened, that's what it was. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to go back through it. Don't try to rehash it. Don't try to, ruminate on it and go replay it in your mind a million different times. It's not going to help you. It's almost like you're trying to extract something from this where you're never going to extract that from it. Like you're trying to find a deeper cause, a deeper meaning, a deeper reason. It's like, well, why this and why that? It's like you want it to be more than it was, instead of taking it for what it actually was. Like sometimes you just have to take things for what they are, for face value. It's like this is the way this person was. This is how they act. This is how this relationship went. This was the outcome. It's nothing greater than that. It's nothing less than that, right? You just have to take it for what it is. Don't try to make it more than it is. Don't try to minimize it, make it less than it was. See it for what it was. That's it. Take the lesson. Find the treasure in the pile of crap. Try to understand how this situation, what did you learn? How does it empower you? All the different things. And then you just have to let it go. Because in the advice column here, which we're going to clarify right now, why is the favored card here? But in the advice column here, the favored card is saying that when you have favor on your life, divine spiritual favor or timing, in other words, the stars are aligned. That's too many. The stars have aligned in such a way, or the stars will align in such a way, or you will become such a person energetically where you are in alignment to getting the things that you want. That's what favor is. You are favored. You are in, the conditions are favorable for the types of outcomes that you desire. But because it's in the advice section, there's a level of responsibility on your part that you have to take. In other words, this isn't just going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You can't do nothing and expect something. There's some degree of taking accountability and some degree of doing that's involved. Okay. And that's what we're trying to understand here. So show us favored here. So far we got the Tower, which is Aries, Scorpio energy. And then we got the Hangman, which is Pisces energy. Okay. So you could have been dealing with those signs. It's not important if you weren't. I just mentioned it. Some people like to know. So here we are at the split again. So on one half of it, we got the Knight of Cups. So this is on the inside of the deck. This is the bottom card, the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is clearly tied to the overthinking. This is the turmoil, the anxiety, the stress. Can't sleep, can't think, nightmare. It's like just when you've allowed the negative energy in your head to overwhelm you to the point to where like the Nine of Swords is one sword away from 10, which is complete, it's destroyed your life. It's brought you to the dark night of the soul. So this is like one step away from the dark night of the soul. And the Knight of Cups is just telling us that this has to do with love and romance, right? Like you're obsessively worrying over whoever this person is that you've had in your life that wasn't aligned with you to begin with. Now the Tower, which I'm going to clarify, I'll use a different deck. I just felt led to use a different deck. All right, so why is the Tower here? So the Tower is about things in our life that no longer serving us, that need to break down because there's a new version of us. There's a different version of us. There's a higher version of us, a better version of us that we need to become. The Tower are the things that no longer serve us that we still hold on to. Paradigms, ways of thinking, traditions, beliefs, all kinds of things that we do. And it's just you can't stay the same person forever. We're not intended to be the same version of us today that we were 10 years ago, right? Like, we're constantly meant to evolve and grow. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. We're not meant to just sit and stagnate and be the same person, thinking the same way with the same beliefs. Like, you're not the same person when you were 3 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. You're not the same person when you were in kindergarten that you were when you were going into college, right? Like, that's obvious. So when we resist change, sometimes we get a tower. We make bad decisions. We do things perpetually that are not in alignment with our soul's path, our soul's mission, and who we are. We get a tower. Now, the tower isn't just about us, things breaking down. Sometimes the tower is just about unexpected changes in life that we don't see coming, right? And because, nothing in our life is certain. Like, we're subjected to all kinds of uncertainty in life. So far, let me get one more for the tower. Why is the tower here? But the bottom line is this: towers don't happen to us. Towers happen for us. It may not always seem that way, but sometimes things happen and it seems unfair. It seems like life is being very unfavorable to us. It seems like, like, why do I have bad luck? Why am I getting, I've done nothing wrong. Why do I feel like the universe is against me, or God is against me, or the forces are against me? It's not that anything's against you, right? It's that you just haven't come out the other side of this situation. You're not seeing it from a new perspective, which is what the hangman is all about here. The hangman is like, you're not seeing this the way that you need to see this. You're not seeing that all this stuff that's happening to you because you're over here, woe is me, you're overthinking it. You're thinking, oh my God, like, I thought this person was it, blah, blah, blah. You're overthinking all this stuff because you had a belief, you had a story, you were emotionally invested in something, and it didn't turn out the way that you thought that it was. So it's completely screwed you up because you were so sure, you were so certain this was going to be the person. I knew that this was going to be the person. I saw the signs, I saw the synchronicities, and the tarot readers told me, and blah, 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 blah. And now they're not. Makes you question everything. That's the tower. The tower is making you question everything. How do I know? Because we clarified it. Down here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. It made you question fate. The Wheel of Fortune is the archetype of fate, destiny, cycles, things outside of your control. It made you question fate. It made you question destiny. And it made you question your own power, which is the Magician. It made you question yourself. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what to believe anymore. And guys, I've been there. I've been there myself. And at the bottom of this deck that I'm clarifying this tower with here, I have the High Priestess, questioning your spirituality, questioning your beliefs, questioning yourself, questioning your intuition, right? So, but Spirit is saying, hey, time out, stop, pause. Hangman, you need to see this from a different perspective. I'm trying to show you something. I'm trying to teach you something. I'm trying to show you that this person that you were so sure of, that you thought you were going to have this future with, and you were in love with them, and they were your twin flame, and they were your soulmate, and all these things, they're not that. You're not in alignment with this person. Now down here it says, not aligned, right? Here's this girl. She's looking over her shoulder, and this is a mannequin. It's not even a real human being. It's just a mannequin, right? So that's the message. Spirit is saying, you thought this was something that it wasn't. Don't misunderstand. You don't have to question yourself. You don't have to turn this into, like mental suicide. Because if you can't see that this situation with this person wasn't aligned for you, no matter how much you were invested or how you were seeing it, the fantasy, whatever it was, Spirit is saying, no, that was just to help you understand something else. A spiritual lesson that you were supposed to learn, something about yourself you were supposed to learn. Or maybe that person served as contrast, supposed to show you what you didn't want, because maybe they did things to you if you're honest with yourself, right? And I've been there. All this stuff I'm saying, I've experienced in my own life. But the bottom line is, this person wasn't intended for your life. It wasn't intended for your path. The tower is here. You're meant to learn something. And I really feel that if this person, whoever this person is, that this is referring to, had remained in your life, you would have gotten the tower anyways. This tower was gonna come into your life regardless. One way or the other, this tower was gonna show up, because this person was just not the right person for you. They've kept you stuck. Things have been, you would not have been able to move forward here with this hangman energy. However, the hangman is more importantly, what the hangman is telling us is that you just need to see this differently than you've been seeing it. And that'll help you to learn and grow and let go. Because what's ahead of you, let's move to the outcome now. The future, why is the future here? The future card is that there's something better. There's something more aligned for you. The person that's right for you, the end all be all, the thing that you've been seeking and desiring is ahead of you. Yeah. So in the future, so we have the 5 of Cups, which is all about grief, loss, regret, pain, all of that kind of thing. And then you have the 6 of Swords, which is all about letting go of baggage, moving into a time of peace and calm. It's moving out of time of chaos. And swords are mental. In the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. Can't make it up. So that's essentially what it's saying is there's new love that's aligned for you in the future. But if you don't let go of the past, you can't move to the future. You can't you can't have this Ace of Cups. Now, I have a glass of wine here. So let's pretend this is Ace of Cups, right? So I have this Ace of Cups in my hand. I'm also eating some sweet heat pickles over here. And it's more of a craving thing. Like I get like a midnight craving, and then I want to like reach for the sugar. And so, since pickles are essentially, compared to like candy or some other thing that I would normally reach for, it's a much healthier option and it's lower calories, right? So I won't be like a bajillion pounds. Even if I binge eat this whole jar of pickles, it's not going to be as bad as if I binge ate a whole bag of candies. So the point is that if I'm holding this Ace of Cups that you guys are, it's in your future here. Here's this Ace of Cups. This is what you want. I can't have both in this hand. I can't hold the pickles and the Ace of Cups in the same hand, right? You can't have both. You have to choose. And that's what this is saying here. It's like you have to let go. The 6 of Swords is about letting go of one so you can get the other. And that's what the Hangman and the advice is saying. The Hangman card, if you research the Hangman, you look at the meanings. The Hangman is about letting go, sacrificing something to gain something. All tarot cards have multiple meanings. Well, that's one of the meanings of the Hangman, is you have to let go. You have to sacrifice something. It's the martyr. To be willing to sacrifice something to gain something that's better than that thing that you're sacrificing, right? Like you see the value of there's something that you're willing. How do I say this? There's something valuable enough for you to be willing to sacrifice something to have it, right? I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to give this thing up to gain something that I think is more valuable to me, right? And that's what the outcome is. It's saying, hey, if you can let go of this thing that's not aligned with you, if you can see this from a new perspective, you can see it differently than you've been seeing it, which is all this overthinking stuff. You'll realize, and this is spirit speaking, right? Like whatever you believe, in the future, you're not going to be dealing with the loss, grief, and regret anymore. You're going to get over this. The 6 of Swords is in front of the 5 of Cups. You're going to leave the 5. You're going to leave the loss, the grief, the regret behind, and you're moving to calmer waters. You're moving into a time of peace. You're transitioning all of that Six of Swords, energy to this Ace of Cups. Your new love, the thing that you desire, something that is in alignment with you. Okay. So I hope this reading has made sense for you guys. It went a little bit longer than I intended it to, but that's okay. I feel like for maybe some of you, maybe one of you, I don't know, somebody out there might needed to have heard the analogies, and when things come through me, I just trust. I'm just the messenger. I'm just here to deliver the message, not try to figure out who it's intended for, because I don't know. I don't know who's going to see this video. But if it's resonated for you, I would appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe, all those things. And feel free to comment on the channel too. Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys soon. And I appreciate you as always. Love and light.